Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. Want to bring you all an update on Litecoin. Right now we're at $135. We're down 2.42%. And what we're going to be looking at today is if this is going to continue or if we're going to have some type of a break here. Because what's happening is we're getting really tight in on the 4 hour. Remember, I've been telling you that I've been trading the 4 hour. That's what I'm paying a lot of attention to. And this white trend line has been a trend line that I've been paying attention to as well. And what's happening is we're having higher lows here and we're having lower highs. And what we're doing, we're getting to the apex here. So we're going to see if this little symmetrical triangle here is going to break to the upside and continue that move to the upside, because symmetrical triangles, guys, they're a neutral pattern. They'll break to the upside about 50% of the time, downside about 50% of the time. But traditionally, you want to put the trend in your favor for the symmetrical triangle. So they have a slightly greater chance of breaking to the upside since we've been in an uptrend. Okay, but we still want to prepare for that upside, downside, and also sideways. We can also just roll right through here, and that's something that happens as well. So we're going to dig into all this. If you guys like these Litecoin updates, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I appreciate you being here with me today. Alright guys, so what we're paying extremely close attention to also is this 20-day EMA. And this is, remember, this is on the 4 hour. But what happened was we made a beautiful move right here to get back up above it. Do you see that? So what happened was we came down, we put a doji candle in on the trend line, followed by a bullish engulfing candle, and we started to push up here. We got over this area, so that was great, but we could not get over top of this around 142.97 on the real bodies. So that's something that we just have not gotten up above yet. So right now we're getting in that tight range, so we're having those lower highs, higher lows, and we're going to see which way we break up out of here. It's going to be very important. So what we're going to look at now, we're going to throw some indicators on, and we're going to start from the 4 hour, and we're going to work our way all the way back through maybe even the week. Probably going to get into the day for sure, but maybe even the week as well. So with our stochastic RSI on the 4 hour, right now we're a little bit more to the downside. We're at 41 and 52, so a little bit more neutral, but we did have this downside cross right here, and you see where that happened with that. Basically, it's almost looking like a dragonfly doji candle up top here, guys, and we had that cross to the downside there, and right now we're about that 40 and 52, so we're a little bit more neutral there, but we're paying attention. This is a key area here, this 20 EMA as well as this trend line. If we start having closes below that, then I'd look to see if we had support down around that 128.31, and if we fall from that area, guys, that's going to be very important. Then we have a chance at even rolling down here to around that 118. That's if we have a big break out of here on volume. You can see where I have an alert right there to let you in on some stuff, guys. That's at 132.81. I want to know if we break to the downside. Then I'm also going to put in an alert to the upside. And for all you who's been asking about what program that I use, guys, I use TradingView Pro. So I actually pay for it so I can get more indicators for y'all so you can see some things. And there's a lot of good features that go along with that Coinbase Pro. So that it, or not Coinbase, I'm sorry, TradingView Pro, guys, is what I use. All right, volume decreasing during this time. And remember, our upside alarm now is at 138.47. I want to know downside 132.81. All right, now I'm going to get this upper trend line off. And what we're going to do, we're going to go out to the 8 hour now, and we're going to take a look. Okay, so do you see the 8 hour, this area, we're flirting right with that trend line here, guys. So it's important that we get some type of a bounce off here. We don't want to start having those candle closes below the trend line. You know how important it is. And what happened was we had a stochastic cross to the upside right off this bullish engulfing candle. We continued to get pushed up, and then we basically ran into a bearish Harami candle pattern right here with a stochastic cross to the downside. So on the 8 hour, we're going to have to see what happens. We're still up above that 20 EMA. We're paying close attention to it. Next one, let's go out to the 12 hours. 12 hours looking more like a little doji candle off this right here, so we're having some indecision there. Stochastic cross to the downside, and see, this is what happens, guys. Sometimes it looks like we're going to go to the downside, and this is why you have to wait and you have to be patient. But you came right back up there, kind of a little double top, and then you started to roll over. But this little area here, look how much more you're able to still run up when the stochastic didn't get a ton higher. So that's why you don't specifically want to go off the stochastic by itself. You want to add things in. I like to add the moving averages, trend lines, hammer candle right here. So here is a hammer candle with a stochastic cross. So that's a good thing. That's when you wanted to jump in there. Okay, so we want to pay attention to all this stuff. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to go out to our 1 day. And now we're going to spend a little bit of time here because today's close is going to be important. What we had here was an evening star pattern. that looked like there with a really long leg doji right in the middle, almost a rickshaw man. Then we came back down, bounced off that trend line, and continued to move up. But we're up above the 20, we're up above the 50, we're up above the 100 and the 200-day moving average for Litecoin here on the 1 day. So everything's great in terms of the moving averages. Now, if we were to have that pullback or that big correction, I'd look back to that 20 EMA to see if we have a bounce off it like we did here, like we did here, like we did here. It's an important moving average, and you all need to pay very close attention to it. I keep mentioning this for people, you know, to put in their charts and start to look at this stuff. I'm not saying it's foolproof. You're not always going to get a bounce off it, but we're in an uptrend there, and you're going to see a lot of bounces. Now here, we fell through it, but what happened? We got back up above it again, so that's why you want to add other things into it as well. Stochastic is at 79 and 79, so we are in overbought territory on the 1 day. It's still looking like we want a little bit of a bullish cross here, so maybe we could push up even a little bit higher, but it's looking like some things do need to cool down there on the stochastic for the 1 day at some point, guys. Like I said, I'm not saying we can't go higher. We could have a whole nother leg up there that could push us close to that 150. That's a possibility, and then it's all the way up to that 175. So what we're going to do next here, we're going to look at our RSI. And with our relative strength index, we've been a little toppy here. So what I do like about our RSI, number one, we're at 66 right now, so we're not in overbought territory. Over 70 is going to be, but we're holding higher lows right here. So what we would want to see if we do start to have more of a pullback is for us to get some type of a bounce off there and then continue higher. But you can see our RSI was all the way up here around, let's see, about 76 right here, and our price was at 101, and then our RSI since then was at 74 here, and our price was at 117, and then we had another time around that 71 or so. So what was happening is price was gaining, but our RSI was not swelling up with it. So that's something we want to pay attention to. Same deal almost in one of these little symmetrical triangles here. If we pull this, just seeing this, guys, this isn't something I've tested yet, so I'm just seeing it right now. So we pay attention to that, see if we get an upside break or a downside break, and we're working in this channel, see where we come with this apex as well. Want to pay close attention to the apex. Next, what we're going to do is hit our MACD. And if you all love Litecoin, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Halving's coming up soon as well, so we want to pay attention to that. We had our bullish cross right here with a bullish engulfing candle, got pushed to the upside. Histogram was pushing to the upside. Now we're a little more neutral here. We have not crossed to the downside, so a little more neutral all around on that MACD. That's what we're looking at there. Guys, let me bring this out. And one more thing that I wanted to show you here, and this is going to be the Fibonacci from our swing low to our swing high. Okay, so we'll just do a rough one there. So you can see how bullish we've been throughout this move. From the ultimate swing low where we were down here at $22, we went all the way up to 145. We have not even pulled back to that 0.236. And if we pulled back to the 0.236, that's still extremely bullish of a correction. 0.382 is extremely bullish. 0.5, guys, 0.618. There's a lot of areas, but what a few people have been looking at, including myself, is this 0.382. If we were to have one more massive correction here before we really blast off for this halving. Okay, that'd be around that 98.27, or we call it $100, then around that 116 is what I'd be looking at. So, guys, that's what I wanted to bring to you today. This was just a quick one. Pay very close attention. I'll zoom back in here on the 4-hour real quick. Pay very close attention to this trend line. This is what I'm looking at right now, and I'm going to be looking at it with that stochastic cross. I got my alerts, all that right here. But remember the power of trend lines. When we break out of trend lines to the upside and the downside, and we start having those candle closes outside of that trend line, and if it comes on some good volume, then we really could get pushed down, and we'd look to see if we find some type of support around that 128, and then it's ultimately going to be down here around that 118.77. So just be cautious. Lower highs here, higher lows here, getting in a tight little symmetrical triangle there, and we want to pay attention to it and see what happens here. So 134.94, guys, we're down 2.44%. Let's see what happens with decreasing volume that's taking place. Great being here with you today, guys. Happy Father's Day to everyone. God bless you all.